Hey everyone, a very good morning to all of you guys. So guys, welcome to the four around approximately 3 to 4 circulars, and today also we are going to discuss about a lot of circulars and updates related to your SEBI examination. So the first one will be related to the standardized, validated and exclusive UPI IDs for the payment collection by the intermediaries, right? Standardized. So they have standardized, validated, and there are exclusive UPI IDs for payments collection by intermediaries. Now, what do you mean by intermediaries, guys, here? Any idea about what intermediaries are? In capital market, in securities market, what is the meaning of intermediaries? Stock brokers, very good. Zerodha Grow, yes. Stock brokers. Stock exchanges, okay. AMC companies, asset management companies, yes, perfect. Asset management companies. What are asset management companies? All the mutual funds companies are asset management companies also. So if I talk about HDFC mutual fund, it is nothing but an asset management company. As the name says it all, it is managing assets. So that's an asset management company, right? Mutual fund, SIF, SIP, right? What not? PMS, AIF, all the things are included here. So why there is a need of standardization, validation, exclusivity in UPI IDs? To enhance safety, trust and transparency in the securities market transaction. Why? Because nowadays a lot of cases of frauds and error are quite high in volume, right? So that's why there is a need of safety, there is a need of trust, there is a need of transparency in the securities market. And how can we do that? UPI ID payment mechanism. In our families also we have cases where a UPI payment, I was doing a UPI payment, but it went wrong. It went to the wrong UPI ID. It went to the wrong number, right? Or there was some problem with the QR code. And this is now securities market, right? So here we need to ensure safety, trust and transparency, because frauds and errors restrict somewhere or the other retailers for the participation in this market, right? Those who are risk averse avoid these kind of things, and that's why there is a requirement of enhancing the safety and transparency. So now investors can directly transfer their funds to the validated and registered SEBI registered intermediaries. What are the SEBI registered intermediaries? It can be AMC, it can be broker, it can be anyone else registered with the SEBI working in the securities market through a structured UPI address. So it's nothing but giving a proper structure to the UPI address, so that if you guys and I am doing a transaction via UPI in the capital market, maybe I'm adding some money in my Angel One account, in my zero the account in my grow account, I'm adding some money. I can easily do it. Even if I have a quick look at the UPI ID, I can be rest assured that my money is going to the right place, right? So this is optional for the investor, but it is mandatory for all the intermediaries. That means if you are an intermediary, if you are a broker, if you are an AMC, then you need to create that UPI ID. You need to create a structure of UPI ID. So this was a SEBI circular which was posted on the website on anywhere around June. So what do you mean by structured UPI ID? There should be a username, there should be a handle. Say for example, you are a mutual fund company. The name of your company is XYZ. So XYZ.mutual fund will be your username. If you are a broker like Angel Broking, so angel1.brk, BRK means broker. So following these name conventions increases the trust in the transaction, right? If I see the UPI ID angel1.brk, I won't have to worry a little, right? I won't even have to worry a little. Why? Because I know that I'm making the right kind of transaction. So that's username. That's the username convention. And what is handle? Handle means @valid. Just like we are having @OKICICI, @OKSBI Bank as our UPI IDs. If you are making transaction, then you need to punch @valid. So this name brings validity. This convention brings validity in the transaction @valid HDFC, right? XYZ.mutual fund @valid HDFC. abc.broker, zerodha.broker @valid HDFC. So now if you guys will do any kind of transaction, maybe you are adding some money in your broker account. If you add 2000 rupee in your broker account and you do it via UPI, you will see this handle. You will see definitely this handle .brk @valid, whatever the bank is. At the same time, to give authenticity, a thumbs up signal will also be there, a thumbs up sign will also be there in a green triangle, okay, that the UPI transaction is validated and it is completely authorized, right? Then allocation and use of handles. So SEBI registered intermediaries will be getting certain fixed codes, will be getting these handles assigned to the UPI IDs, so they can easily give the UPI convention, right? So that they can easily give the UPI convention. It's nothing but a practice to people that yes, transactions are authenticated, and we all know that the UPI transaction limit is revised in case of capital market transaction. The UPI transaction limit was recently revised by NPCI, and that will be your homework. So do research about it. I have already covered that in my finance current affairs series. Would love to see you guys researching about it after my class, not abhi, but after my class, right? So this will be your homework. You need to type on Google UPI, revised UPI limits, right? Revised UPI limits for capital market transaction, and you will be having the new limit. So do check it out. Can be important for your examination, okay? If you are giving SEBI, if you are giving RBI or any other examination, then this is going to be one of the most crucial thing. High chance that this question will come in your examination. What is the revised UPI limit per transaction and per day? Right? This is a very high probability question. So please do research about it. Yes, 5 and 10 lakh rupees. Good. But everyone, please do research about it. It's not just about capital market. There is a long list. It includes credit card payments. It includes capital markets, and some other transactions are also there. So please do the research by today itself, just after my class. Revised UPI transaction limits by NPCI. SEBI has also incorporated a verification tool. The name is SEBI Check. This is also important. This can also come in your examination. This is called as SEBI Check, right? So SEBI will be launching a tool allowing the investor to scan QR codes or enter the UPI ID, verify the bank account details, like whether the account number is correct, whether the IFSC code is correct. The whole objective is to prevent the fraudulent connection. So this is a tool which SEBI will launch soon. The name is SEBI Check. The name is SEBI check. This question can also directly come in your examination, right? What is the name of the tool that SEBI has released for preventing the fraudulent collection via UPI IDs, via QR code? So the answer will be SEBI check. Okay, please do remember this one. The name is SEBI check. Acha, how these basically how the transaction happens on a UPI after the issuance of this circular? The NPC will issue communication to all the banks to allocate the handles to different brokers, to all the intermediaries. What will be the impact of this circular on the UPI transactions? Once the circular is released in June, NPCI will communicate to all the banks, to all the financial institutions to allocate handles. Now the bank needs to make the changes for all the intermediaries, and the intermediaries need to request for @valid handle. So this is a special handle just for the intermediaries in the stock market, right? This is a special handle just for the intermediaries operating in the stock market. Then the bank will confirm and the intermediaries will be notified for the approval that yes, you got the @valid handle, and so many organizations have already transitioned to the @valid handle, right? So what will be the intermediaries' responsibility? Obviously, they are responsible for taking the new UPI ID. They need to take the new UPI ID and they need to discontinue the old UPI handles. They need to discontinue the old UPI handle by T plus 180 days. So 180-day time period is there. They need to discontinue their old UPI handle and they need to transition to the new UPI handle, right? So whatever your existing SIPs are there, they can continue with the old UPI, but whatever the new or renewed SIPs are there will be validated via the new UPI ID, and not just about SIP. It's about each and every transaction that you are routing with the intermediaries, right? So standardized, validated and exclusive UPI ID will be available for investors for making intermediaries with effect from 1st of October 2025. No doubt this circular came in June or July month, but this will be affected. You need to transition to the new UPI ID by 1st of October 2025, right? And then there is the Q&A session of this particular circular, which is not so much relevant for you guys. It's more relevant for the intermediaries because they want to comply with it. What things we need to remember is, I've already told you, the very first thing is SEBI check tool, then the revised UPI limit, which is going to be a part of finance current affairs, not this circular, but yes, they are ultimately they are interconnected only, right? And the UPI handle @valid. Next is SEBI launches the Mitra app. Now, can you guys tell me what do you mean by Mitra app? I hope some of you guys are already aware about Mitra app because it's a very famous one. It's a very famous one. Can you guys tell me the full form of Mitra app? Anyone? What is the full form of Mitra app? Mutual fund recovery, unclaimed mutual funds app. Okay. Can you guys tell me the full form of it? Anyone? No idea about the full form? The full form is Mutual Fund Investment Tracing and Retrieval Assistant, right? Tracing and Retrieval Assistant. Please do remember the full form can be important. They can directly ask you the full form in the examination, right? So Mutual Fund Investment Tracing and Retrieval Assistant. They can directly ask you this question in the examination, can be important. Okay. So why SEBI has launched the Mitra app to help the investor to trace inactive and unclaimed mutual fund folios Now every mutual fund will be having a folio number, right? Just like your bank account number. In the mutual funds, we have folio account number. Just like in the bank, you are having bank account number. In the mutual funds, we do have folio account numbers, right? So now let's suppose you have opened a mutual fund 10 years ago and you don't know about that mutual fund as of now. So you need somebody to trace it so that you can claim that unclaimed amount. So that's why SEBI has launched Mitra app, which is Mutual Fund Investment Tracing and Retrieval Assistant. This application will help you to trace your inactive. This application will help you to claim your unclaimed money, right, in the mutual fund portfolio. So whatever money you are having in this mutual fund folios, you will be easily able to claim it. You guys can also check the inactive mutual funds or unclaimed mutual funds of your parents. Maybe your parents are having some of the mutual funds. Back then they have opened it in 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Maybe you also have it, right? So do check it. Ask your parents whether they ever invested in mutual funds or not. उसके बाद हो सकता है कि they completely भूल गए हों, right? So some of the investors, they also lose the track of investments. Why? Because of the minimal KYC details or lack of updated contact information. So the inactive folios are vulnerable also to fraudulent redemptions. The inactive folios mein fraud can happen. That's why SEBI has brought this initiative. Now this is a very useful initiative here. This will help the investor to identify the overlooked investments. KYC compliance encouragement. This will encourage the investors to redo the KYC, reduce the unclaimed mutual folios. Now, so many people are having money in the bank accounts completely unclaimed. So many people in India have unclaimed mutual fund folios. That's not a good thing, right? That's not a good thing. Enhancing transparency. Implement fraud risk mitigants. So these are some of the objectives of the Mitra platform. Acha, there is a word inactive. There is a word inactive in it. Tracing the inactive mutual funds. So there should be a definition of inactivity, right? There should be a definition of inactivity. So what is the time limit? Is anybody aware about the time limit? How much time it takes for a mutual fund to become inactive? Anyone? How much time it takes for a mutual fund to become completely inactive, to attain the inactivity status? What should be the duration? $10 years, 8 years. So the time limit of inactivity is 10 years, right? Is 10 years. A folio is said to be inactive if no investor initiated a transaction. Let's suppose I have invested 1 lakh rupees in mutual fund. Now I haven't initiated any transaction. Transaction can be financial, it can be non-financial as well. It can be non-financial as well. So in the last 10 years, I haven't done any transaction, whether financial nature, whether non-financial nature. That's called as inactivity. And still units are there. Still units are available in my folio. So when I paid 1 lakh rupees, the mutual fund company must have allocated some units, right? So units are actually there in my folio. I never sold my units. And I never did transaction for 10 years. Can be important for your examination. This year can be important for your examination. And the fact that transaction can be financial, it can be non-financial as well. Acha, can you guys tell me how a transaction can be non-financial here? I invested 1 lakh rupee. That's a financial transaction. Now I never invested a single rupee, right? I never invested a single rupee. I have never sold a single rupee in this mutual fund. So there is no financial transaction. How a transaction can be non-financial in nature? Any example? A very simple question. How a transaction can be non-financial in nature? Switching to another mutual fund, okay. Awarded free NAV units but unclaimed. Okay. Usually they don't give free NAV units. Switching to another mutual fund. If I'm switching to another mutual fund, then I need to sell my mutual fund first, and then only I can switch it, right? It works like that in the back end. Even on the front end, we can see that, okay, we are just switching. But ideally, the AMC is selling our fund and they are buying a new fund. That's what switching means. Any other example of a non-financial transaction? How a non-financial transaction can happen here? It's a simple one. Acha, have you guys done ever a non-financial transaction in any bank? You actually visited the branch, but you never transacted in money. But you transacted in something else. Maybe documents, maybe something else. I'm very sure that you all have done a non-financial transaction in all the banks. All of you must have done a non-financial transaction when you go to the bank. Have you guys ever done KYC? Have you guys ever resubmitted your Aadhaar card or PAN card? If your bank account is with public sector bank, I'm very sure that you must have done it at least 2-3 times in the last 10 years. That's a non-financial transaction. The money is not involved. Still you transacted with bank. Still you transacted with bank. So in the same manner, in the mutual funds as well, if I redo the KYC, if I update the nomination details, right? If I change my mobile number, that's also a non-financial transaction. If I change my email ID, if I change my address, if I change my name, all these things are a part of non-financial transaction. All these things are part of non-financial transaction, right? I hope you guys are getting it. So what we need to know here is, with the very purpose of Mitra application, then the full form of Mitra platform. After that, the definition of inactivity. What is the definition of inactivity? 10 years. It can be financial transaction, it can be non-financial transaction as well, and there must be some units, right? There must be some units. It's not like that you have already sold your units and still you are going and claiming, yeah, I have units. No, you have a zero balance in units if you have already sold it. So this 10-year, they can ask in the examination this financial, non-financial transaction. They can create a true false based statement. They can create a correct and incorrect statement based question, and they can ask you as a part of a question, right? So the whole idea is to help the investors rediscovering the investments that completely are out of their mind, and to update their KYC details as well, right? Now there are two RTAs, qualified RTA. What do you mean by RTA? Anyone? What is the full form of RTA? So we have two RTAs here. CAMS, Computer Age Management Services Limited, and we do have K Fintech. We do have K Fintech. So these are called the RTAs. What is the full form of RTA and what RTA is actually doing in securities market? Transfer agents, okay. So that's TA. What do you mean by R? Registered technical assistant, okay. Qualified registrar and transfer agent, perfect. So what they are actually doing, they are registering the transactions, they are dealing with the transfers, right? So we do have as of now two qualified RTAs. So the details of Mitra platform, will be developed and will be hosted by two qualified RTAs, CAMS and K FinTech technology. Why? Because they do have all the data. They do have all the data, right? K FinTech and CAMS do have all the data because they are registrar. Just give me a second now. Okay. They are registrar and transfer agents. Please do remember the full form. And what these registrar and transfer agents are doing, they are specialized financial entities that are actually managing the investor record keeping and the transaction processing. So whatever transactions you are doing, buying and selling of mutual funds, they keep a record of it. The RTAs are keeping a record of it so that your data is protected forever. That's why even if you are not able to remember your investments, they can easily fetch the investments. They can easily fetch the investments. Why? Because they do have adequate data. They do have the past 10-year, 20-year, 30-year, 50-year data. So these are called as registrar and transfer agents, right? So they are handling the transaction processing. They are handling the investor records for the mutual funds, for the corporate securities, and for the investment instruments. So the Mitra platform is being developed and hosted by CAMS and K FinTech Limited. These are entities, these are corporate entities. The share is also listed of CAMS and K FinTech. I also bought some of the shares of K FinTech. It's been long now. So what they are registrar and transfer agents. So they are doing the record keeping. So whatever investment you made, they have all your details. They have all your details, like how many units you are holding, your KYC information, your folio number, your folio updates. So whatever transactions you are processing, an entry goes to the RTAs also. So they know that you have done a mutual fund transaction, your dividend, your redemption payout, your KYC compliance, customer support, regulatory compliance, everything related to your mutual fund. They know each and everything. They know each and everything, right? And how this Mitra platform is going to be accessible. So you can go to the MF Central website also. You can go to the MF Central website. You can go to the any asset management company website. You can go to the Association of Mutual Funds in India, AMFI. The two qualified RTAs, K FinTech. Please do remember the name of the companies, NCAMS, or on the SEBI website. So you can access this platform anywhere, right? And this is the Mutual Fund Central platform where you will find Mitra, where you will find the link to access the Mitra platform, right? You do have on the SEBI website, you do have on AMCs, everywhere the link of Mitra platform will be there. So you can easily access this particular platform. Have a look. Brought to you by CAMS and K FinTech. So this MF Central is also a collaboration of CAMS and K FinTech. Can you guys tell me what do you mean by MF Central? Any idea of MF Central? It's a collaboration of CAMS and K FinTech. But why do we need collaborations? Why do we need this collaboration of MF Central? We do have CAMS, we do have K FinTech. Then why do we need MF Central? Any idea? Anyone? Why do we even need MF Central if we do have K FinTech, if we do have CAMS? What is the need of MF Central? No one knows about MF Central? Okay, no problem at all. So look, why there is a need of MF Central, let me just quickly tell you. There are so many asset management companies, right? There are so many AMCs, asset management companies. Like we have HDFC, we have Kotak, we have DSP. These are the name of mutual fund companies, right? You guys can also suggest me some of the name of mutual fund companies quickly in the comment section. We have Nippon, we have Bandhan, ICICI Mutual Fund. Can you guys suggest me some more name? Okay, that's enough. No problem. So these are some of the mutual fund companies, right? These are some of the mutual fund companies: HDFC Mutual Fund, Kotak Mutual Fund, DSP Mutual Fund, even Geo BlackRock Mutual Fund, right? Quant, very good. Perfect. So some of the mutual fund companies are registered with CAMS. Some of the mutual fund companies are registered with KFintech. So let's suppose if you have invested in all the mutual fund companies and I open your CAMS account, I'll be getting information related to only those AMCs that are registered with CAMS, that are registered with the RTA of CAMS. But maybe I have invested in some other mutual fund companies as well that are registered with KFintech. So this becomes a huge problem that for some mutual funds I need to open CAMS, for some other mutual funds I need to open the KFintech. So that's why Mutual Fund Central is a joint initiative by CAMS and KFintech. So now if you open Mutual Fund Central, you'll be getting all the mutual funds, doesn't matter if they are registered with CAMS or if they are registered with KFintech. It's a joint initiative, right? So this was the problem. Some of the asset management companies were registered with CAMS, some were registered with KFintech. Now we have Mutual Fund Central. Please do remember the name of this entity. They can directly ask you this question in the examination, right? Mutual Fund Central. It's a joint initiative of CAMS and KFintech where we can find all our mutual funds at once, right? So that was the real use case. So we can see here MF Central is Investor Service Hub by KFintech and CAMS, powering the new era of collaboration by providing convenience to transact. Earlier I was not having convenience. I have to log into KFintech, I have to log into CAMS as well, right? Because all the AMCs have different RTAs. Now we have Mutual Fund Central, which is a joint initiative of both the RTAs. Okay. So here you can just click on the Mitra platform. You will find inactive folios. You can definitely find your inactive folios here itself, right? Okay, so when the circular came on the website, when the circular came on the SEBI website, Mitra platform must be operational within 15 working days from the date of publishing of the circular. And a beta version will run for 2 months just before the full scale implementation. So they have just planned a beta version, a demo version, which will be operational for 2 months before full scale implementation of the Mitra platform. Right? Now, AMCs are responsible for investor protection through the Unit Holder Protection Committee. There is a Unit Holder Protection Committee formed by AMCs here. Now, UHPC need to review the inactive folios. Take a list, make a list of inactive folios, unclaimed dividends and redemptions. Now, AMC has to take measure to reduce the unclaimed amount. It's their responsibility that they need to reach out to the genuine person who is the real owner of these unclaimed dividends, unclaimed mutual funds, and they need to reduce this amount, right? It's not a good thing to have an unclaimed amount as high as we have in India, right? Next one is Bond Central. SEBI launches Bond Central. So can you guys tell me what's your understanding related to Bond Central? Any idea, anyone? Have you guys ever heard the name of this platform, Bond Central? And we'll be doing some of the MCQs as well after this circular. After this update, we'll be practicing some of the MCQs as well so that you guys can have a taste of how they can ask you questions in the examination. For corporate bonds, okay. RBI Retail Directives for G6. Bond Central for corporate bonds, okay. Corporate bond database, all the bonds data with metrics, very good. Corporate bond database, perfect. And which organization has developed this platform, Bond Central? Which organization has developed this platform? Can you guys tell me that? Which organization has developed this platform of Bond Central? Very good. Online Bond Platform Provider Association. So there is an association. The name is Online Bond Platform Provider Association, right? They have developed it, but this is just half the answer. This is just half the answer. They have developed it in collaboration with the MIIs, Market Infrastructure Institutions. Okay, so let's start with Bond Central. It's nothing but a centralized database. Don't just say database, always say centralized database for the corporate bonds. Now, if I talk about stocks, we do have so many brokers, we do have so many platforms like Money Control, like Screener, like so many platforms are there, right? If I talk about cryptocurrencies, so many exchanges are there. Binance, right? I can WazirX, CoinDCX Go. There are so many platforms. But if I talk about corporate bonds, a centralized database was lacking. A centralized database was lacking where I can easily go and I can check the data related to all the bonds, that too in a comprehensive manner, that too in a centralized manner. So that's why SEBI has launched a centralized database for the corporate bonds. So it's nothing but a portal. It's nothing but a portal, a centralized database portal for the corporate bonds. Why? Because I need transparency. If I want to buy a stock, I have end-to-end information. But if I want to buy a bond, then I don't have end-to-end information. So I need more and more transparency. I need a unified bond market database for improving my decision making. I am the investor. I want to improve my decision making. For improving the decision making, I need authentic data, right? I need authentic data. And where I'll be getting the data, authentic kind of data with full level of transparency and disclosure, it is going to be Bond Central now. It is going to be Bond Central. And which organization has developed it? OBPP Association. OBPP Association, which is Online Bond Platform Provider Association. Please do remember the name, full form of Online Bond Platform Provider Association, in collaboration with MII. Don't forget MII. They are also important. Market Infrastructure Institution. Now, can you guys tell me what do you mean by MII? What are the Market Infrastructure Institution? Anyone? The entities that fall in the definition of Market Infrastructure Institution. All the entities that create infrastructure for the stock market, right? all the entities that are creating infrastructure for the financial markets. Like we have so many exchanges, like we have depositories, right? Clearing corporations. So MIIs are nothing, market infrastructure institutions. These institutions are creating the market infrastructure. By infrastructure, I mean facilities. If you want to do transaction, you need to connect with a stock exchange, right? So NSE, BSE. Then clearing corporations like NSE is having NSCCL, NSE Clearing Limited. For BSE, we have Indian Clearing Corporation Limited, right? So these are clearing corporations. We have depositories where our shares are actually getting stored in electronic form like CDSL, NSDL, right? These are the MIIs. These are my MIIs, market infrastructure institutions. And what OBPP is all about? OBPP is nothing, it's an association. It is a non-profit industry. Acha, can you tell me, if I talk about non-profit organization registered under the Companies Act 2013, in which section of Companies Act 2013 I need to get myself registered if I want to open a non-profit organization? Anyone? In which section of the Companies Act I need to take registration if I want to open a non-profit organization? That can also be a very crucial question. Section 6, okay. Any other opinion? Section 8 company, perfect. Section 8 of Companies Act 2013. If you want to open a not-for-profit organization, your aim is not to earn profit. Your aim is not to earn profit. Just like OBPP. That's an association, right? For the betterment, for giving a infrastructure related to bond market so that we can have transparency, right? That's a Section 8 company. That's a Section 8 company. These companies we call it as Section 8 company. They are corporate entities, but they are not for generation of profit. So we call them as Section 8 company. Please do remember, they can directly ask you this question in the examination. Okay? Because you do have Companies Act ka part as well in your syllabus. So OBPP association is a non-profit industry body representing the online bond platform provider in India that are registered with Securities Exchange Board of India. Now they have formally established in May 2024. The whole idea, the whole goal was to develop the Indian bond market on professional, transparent and ethical lines. Right? So this is the whole purpose of this association. Then what they are actually doing, they are promoting the retailers' participation. The number one thing. How many of you are actually holding bonds? How many of you are actually holding bonds? Have you ever bought bond? Anyone? Or tell me whether you have bought shares or mutual funds, or you may apply in IPOs, or you guys are applying in IPOs. Mutual funds, yes. Most of you guys are investing in mutual funds. You are investing in stock market. You're buying in shares. You maybe some of you are buying in cryptocurrencies as well, but only 10%, only 10% of you all are investing in bond market, or the number is even lower than 10%, right? ETFs, yes. Or the number is even lower than 10%. Why? Because retailers usually don't participate in the bond market. They love to invest their money in derivative products for speculative activities, buying call option, buying put options, buying futures, buying shares. क्या डानी खरीद लो, रिलायंस इंडस्ट्री खरीद लो, HDFC बैंक खरीद लो, म्यूचुअल फंड्स ले लो, बट retailer participation is quite low. That's why in order to promote the retailer participation, we need a platform that is giving us a real picture where we can go and analyze the data related to bonds. set industry standards. Just like any other countries having a standardized market, we also need a standardized market here. Collaborate with the regulators. They are also collaborating with regulators like SEBI for enhancing the bond market. Support the ethical conduct. So they are supporting the ethical conduct. They are promoting healthy competition, and they are fostering the financial literacy. They are making people more and more aware about the bond market, right? So look, Sachin is also having HDFC Bank ka call option now. He's having a right to buy. HDFC Bank today is trading at 993 rupee, right? So guys, these were the features. I can say these are the areas where OBPP Association will be aggressively working. Some of the objectives are related to the aim only, right? So later on you can just have a quick reading about the objectives as well, though not so essential. We have already discussed each and everything again. Key features: comprehensive bond listing. All the bonds, all the corporate bonds that are listed across multiple exchanges and issuers are registered on the bond central. So you guys can easily compare the corporate bond by accessing this platform, right? By accessing this platform. Price comparison: you can easily compare the price with that of the government securities, with that of the fixed income indices, to make the better investment decision. So here we can see this is the OBPP Association site of Bond Central. This is the platform of bondcentral.in is the website name, brought to you by OBP Association in collaboration with MII. There are so many users. You can see the total value of outstanding bond. Now you don't have to remember these numbers, right? I'm just showing you the platform. So let's suppose if I want to search a company, I can search it with the code, security code, ISIN number, issuer name, right? Just like that. I have tried typing Adani here, and I got the results like Adani Airport Holdings Limited, which is giving me a coupon rate of 10%. What is a coupon rate, guys? In case of bond, what is a coupon rate? Anyone? What do you mean by coupon? What is the meaning of coupon rate in case of bonds? The rate of interest that I'll be getting, right? The rate of interest that I'll be getting, we call it as coupon rates. We call it as coupon rates. So if I invest in this bond, I'll be earning 10% coupon rate, right? If I invest in this bond, I'll be earning 10% coupon rate. Then we have so many bonds of different maturity date, right? There are ratings as well, and for rest of the details, I can click on view details and I can have a look at the rest of the details related to bonds. So this is an amazing platform where you can have a comprehensive understanding of all the bonds, right? Now, if I click on view details, I can again see a comparison chart of Adani bond with that of the government securities. Why? Because this is a bond, which is a fixed income security, right? Now I can compare it with FDs, I can compare it with government securities, but I won't be comparing it with these shares of Reliance Industry, right? Because this is a bond. I cannot compare a return of bond with that of the share. They do share a different risk. So obviously the return expectation is also different. I can see the face value of the bond, the coupon rates, coupon type. This is fixed interest rate. That's why we are having coupon rate clearly mentioned here. अगर ये वेरिएबल होता तो फिर यहाँ पे फिक्स्ड इंटरेस्ट रेट नहीं होता लिखा हुआ. If they write variable interest rate here, then they must not have given the coupon rate, right? They can give coupon rate only if the bond is fixed interest rate. We can see the maturity, we can see the interest payment frequency once in a year. That's the interest payment frequency. So I can comprehensively understand each and everything about the bond. It gives me investor centric information, it enhances the transparency. I tried searching HDFC Bank bond as well. Here we can see that this is unsecured. It's giving me a coupon rate of 8.45%. Right? The rating they have also done with a rating by Care Rating Limited. So it shows that there is a rating also attached with the bond, just like any other bond. It's a AAA rated bond. So I can have all the details here, right? Plus future enhancement, additional features will be added in these kind of platforms. So definitely this is going to help us. Why this initiative is important? Because of low retail participation in the corporate bond. Now we do have a comprehensive platform, so retailers can come and they can analyze multiple metrics. They can have an idea how they can get an edge over the FDs and government securities by investing in corporate bonds, right? Actually, we were in need of unified bond market database and addressing the information asymmetry. There was a information asymmetry here. So that's why we were in need of this kind of platform, right? Then on this website, I found some of the examples of debt instruments as well, like government bonds, like corporate bonds and so on, inflation index bonds, masala bonds. So later on, you can just download this PPT and you can have a quick reading. We have already discussed these concepts: perpetual bond, floating, fixed, zero coupon bond, and so on, right? So later on, just download this PPT and have a quick reading. It will give you a good idea of bonds as well, right? Like what are the types of bonds. MCQ practice. The very first question for today: what is the full form of SEBI's newly launched Mitra platform? Now this question can directly come in your examination. What is the full form of SEBI's newly launched Mitra platform? Any idea, anyone? Quickly in the comment section. The correct choice here is option C, mutual fund, investment tracing and retrieval assistant. Next one. What is the primary objective of SEBI's newly launched Mitra platform? Primary objective of SEBI's newly launched Mitra platform. The whole idea is to trace the inactive and unclaimed mutual fund folios. And can you tell me what is inactivity? What is the meaning of inactivity in the mutual fund folios? A very simple one and a most important question. This is the most important question. Inactivity. 10 years, right? It can be financial, it can be non-financial as well. It can be financial, it can be non-financial as well. So option C, 10 years. Next one, which of the following entities are responsible for hosting the Mitra platform? Important. That's CAMS and K Fintech, and these are RTAs, right? Registrar and transfer agents. How does the Mitra platform help the investor? By identifying the inactive and unclaimed mutual funds. This is a repeated question. Which of the following related to Mitra platform is not true? Which of the following is incorrect here? A very simple one. Option C, it enables direct trading. No, it never enables the direct trading. It's all about claiming the unclaimed. It's all about tracing the untraced, right? What is the role of unit holder protection committee? concerning inactive mutual fund folios. What is the role of UHPC concerning the inactive mutual fund folios? The correct answer is option B, to monitor and take measure to reduce the unclaimed dividend and redemption. That's what their main purpose is, right? Acha, tell me this one. SEBI has launched a centralized database platform for bringing transparency and accessibility in the corporate bond market, right? That's Bond Central. That's Bond Central, option C. We have just completed it. Now, because we have just done it, that's why these MCQs are looking so easy. But when we have so much of data and when we are in the exam oriented wala mahol, definitely you will struggle, because there are so many platforms being launched by SEBI, by RBI, by so many other regulatory bodies. Next one, what is the primary objective of SEBI's newly launched Bond Central? So the whole idea was to create a single authentic source of information on the corporate bonds, right? We need a single authentic source on the corporate bonds. Then with which entity MII have collaborated and created this platform? That's my Online Bond Platform Provider Association, right? OBPP Association, Online Bond Platform Provider. This can also be important. Which of the following feature is not a part of Bond Central platform? Which of the following feature is not a part of Bond Central platform? That's option C, free credit rating service. They are just reflecting whatever your credit rating is. They are not giving you any free credit rating service, right? They are just reflecting on a consolidated website, on a combined website, that what is your credit rating. They never give you a service of credit rating. The credit rating services are being given by the credit rating agencies and not by Bond Central. Okay, so option C here is the incorrect statement. And that's what we need to find, right? Next one. How does corporate bond contribute to reducing information asymmetry in the corporate bond market? So they offer standardized, accessible, and free bond related data. That's how they reduce the information asymmetry. Earlier, retailer was not having access data. Earlier, retailers were not having adequate data to access the bond centralized database. Now we have it. So that's why it reduces the information asymmetry here, right? Which of the following comparison is facilitated by Bond Central? So we have seen that they compare the corporate bond market with that of the government securities and other fixed instrument. And what major problem in the Indian bond market does the corporate bond is addressing? The low retail investor participation. The number one objective of this is lowering the, because of the lower retail investor participation, we are here with a centralized database that can definitely penetrate retailers as well in terms of investing in the bond market. Now there are certain tools. A retail investor wants to compare the yield of the corporate bond with that of the government security. So which feature of the central will assist them? There is a price comparison tool that we have seen in the chart. There was a price comparison tool with which we can easily compare the government securities with that of the bond yield. Which of the following statement correctly describes the role of MII in Bond Central? Which of the following statement correctly describes the role of market infrastructure institutions in Bond Central? So they are giving the technology and operational support, right, for the bond central, and that's what they can give. They do have the adequate infrastructure, right? Now OBPP association, how the OBPP association is legally classified, it's nothing but a non-profit organization, right? It's a non-profit organization. What is a perpetual bond? Now this will be not a dynamic portion, but will be the static portion. I have incorporated MCQs because they have given in your on the Bond Central website, they have given the definitions of some of the bonds. So I have also incorporated questions. So perpetual bond, they don't have a maturity. They are paying the periodic interest for the indefinite period of time, right? And what is a zero coupon? What is a bond where they are issued at a discounted price and they are redeemed at a face value? That is called a zero coupon bond, right? We have already practiced these things in the financial markets and finance. So zero coupon bond is, let's suppose the face value of my bond is 100 rupee and I'm issuing this bond at 90 rupee. There is zero coupon attached to it. I'm not giving any interest rate, but there is effectively an interest rate. I'm issuing this at 90 rupee and I'm redeeming it at 100 rupee. That means 10 rupees nothing but interest only, right? 10 rupees nothing but interest only. So guys, that's all from my end for today. In our next class related to SEBI circulars, we'll be doing new concepts, right? New concepts related to the SEBI circular. So thank you so much for attending. Bye bye. Take care and keep on revising. One homework from my end: do search about the UPI data, right? What UPI limits are, what new UPI limits are there, which were being published by NPCI. Plus, do the revision of the last part that we studied in the SEBI circular on the last Wednesday, right? So do revise all the circulars along with the today's circular, right? So thank you so much, guys. Bye bye. Take care. See you soon in the next class. Keep on revising, keep on studying. Let's make it this time. For finance current affairs, how many months would be enough? Look, usually we say that anywhere around 6 months is a good target. But what I'll advise you is, you can start with this month, right? You can start with the November month. Then you can complete the October month, right? So try to slowly go backward in the finance current affairs. Don't pick from January, don't pick from June, July or anything, right? Try to cover the finance current affairs from the recent month. सबसे पहले आप नवंबर का करो, उसके बाद आप अक्टूबर का करो, right? ऐसे करके try to cover the recent 3 months first. Then once you are done, you can go back to the next 3 months, right? That will be the best approach, because usually they ask the questions from the recent months. Okay guys, thank you so much. Bye bye.